strategies that are out there and you watch as much film as you do, that can only help you. And it was a great experience. Obviously I spent a long time in the NBA as a player for 10 years, and then before I got into college coaching, 5 years as a front office executive. Then come into the college game and back to the NBA. I've seen a lot. I've seen it from a lot of different angles. And I'll say this: when you're competing against the Greg Popoviches and the Mike Budenholzers and the Mike D'Antonis and all the great coaches that there are in that league, you pick a lot of things up.
How did analytics you talked about? How did that? You've always wanted to play with base, right? How did those numbers sort of back it up, and maybe how did you adjust your coaching since you've been?
Well, it's funny. After the game, you always go back and look at where you're getting your shots and where you're giving up shots. And when you win that shot chart that you look at the end of the game, if you take less contested twos and more threes and more rim, you get more rim attempts, you generally win the game. It's funny how that whole thing works, how people say numbers don't lie, and a lot of times they don't when it comes to those analytics. So again, we just want to take good high percentage shots, and it is a little different in the NBA. You try to manufacture the corner three because it's the shortest three-point attempt at 22 feet as opposed to almost 25 from the top of the key. So there's certain areas you try to get your shots from, but if you can give up consistently mid-range shots and contest them, you're going to have a chance on the defensive end.
As you can see,
you've been around watching Nebraska obviously for a long time. Knowing the history here, they haven't won a regular season conference since 1950. The whole thing about the NCAA. From a coaching standpoint, for a guy taking a job, is this a pretty low-risk proposition for you?
No, there's no such thing as low risk when you're in the coaching game. And it's funny when you're contemplating these big life decisions like we are, you look for signs of what can be the thing that is a tipping point. And my wife and I were flying back from the NCAA tournament game last week back to Chicago on American, and we looked at the American Way magazine, and I literally opened it up, and the first page was Larry the Cable Guy talking about the state of Nebraska, and I'm like, wow, maybe this is a sign. We need to do this. And then there was like a 14-page spread about Nebraska and just how much people don't know about not only the state but this town and how much it has to offer. It's always it's one of the top living cities in the country. So it's we're excited to be here, and we hope to take this program to new heights and do it consistently. And it's a challenge. It's this league, after watching Michigan State as much as I did, to see these coaches in this league are as good as any in the country. So we got to come out and compete. Try to build the roster the right way to get talent to where we were able to compete, and again, do it consistently.
Fred, it was a pretty stressful 3.5 years in Chicago. I mean, they didn't do you any favors with roster construction and stuff like that, but as you considered your options, was a situation like this maybe more appealing considering what you were coming off of? This isn't UCLA, this isn't Kansas. I just wonder if that played any role in your thinking.
It really didn't. Again, I was looking for a great opportunity, and after I continued to get to know Bill, and sat down with him and saw his vision, I was excited about it. I know he's going to put the resources into it that are necessary to compete at the highest level, and that's something that as I got to know Bill, I understood that was going to be a priority for him, is to put those resources into the program to where we can compete. So, again, I talked about this a lot, but when you look at facilities like we have and support, and get the kids on campus and show them that, hopefully with an exciting style of play, I'm confident we can get this roster built the right way, and again, do it for a long time.
When you're building your roster, I mean, we have to have X point guards and like that to really make this go? I mean, is there an X factor that you have to have?
Well, the thing that we've always had success with are versatile players, and my best teams had 5 guys on the floor that could make a play and make a shot, and that was the biggest thing for us, was try to find skilled players. Now you have to have athletes in that mix as well that can get up and down the floor and play a fast-paced game, and again, get guys on the other end of the floor that can give you a chance on the defensive end. So again, we're going to do everything we can to get high-level talent in here, whatever way that is. Again, transfers, junior college players, 4-year players. There's a lot of ways to go about it.
How hard is it to give up?
What did Bill tell you his vision was for Nebraska?
Again, just what he showed the commitment, of what he's done, what he's willing to do, to make this a top level program. It's exciting to hear when he does that. And again, I talked to a lot of people that have worked for Bill, and they talk about the support that he has, how he has your back, and how he does things the right way. And again, we're excited about that.
How hard was it to give up the life of sitting in a robe, watching Price is Right, eating chips?
I wasn't eating chips. I was doing puzzles.
Doing puzzles, sorry.
I was ready. I'll say that. I was ready to move on. It was good to recharge my batteries, and again, when I was let go, to be able to reflect like I was able to, and watch a lot of basketball and to watch a lot of film, and look back on things, and then take some time. We've been binge vacationing. I've been on 2 trips with my wife. We went out to Napa. We were in the Caribbean. I was just on spring break. I just got back with my twins. And then I've been in D.C. since, so it feels like I've been on the road for 2 months. So I'm ready. My wife and I talked a lot about this the last few days, and it's time to get back to work. She's sick of me.
Are you ahead of you had time off to really think about, not that you didn't know how to run a program, but sort of think about what you want, not only where you wanted to go, but what you wanted to do when you got there. Are you ahead of where you would be if you were, coming off another job 2 weeks ago or something?
That's a good question. I don't know. Again, big thing is getting the right people around you, and I'm really excited about my hire with Matt, and I've worked with Matt, and we work well together. We work well off each other. He knows how to challenge me. I know how to challenge him. He's not a yes man by any means. If he sees something he doesn't like, he's going to come in and tell me about it, and that's what I want. I want guys that are going to where we can challenge each other and have those hard, honest conversations. But he's good. He's really good at going out there and getting guys and getting me on the phone. I feel like I've been on the phone for 72 straight hours. It literally since I agreed to the terms and became the coach. I've been on the phone nonstop. And again, we're hitting the road tomorrow. I love recruiting, and I'm excited to get going.
I know you can't talk about other staffers besides Matt, but what's the reception been like as you've started to look at putting together a staff?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of calls and texts, as you can imagine. When you get a job, the amount of people that send their support and send their love, and a lot of people that send out their resumes that want jobs. And again, I know a lot of people that all have very good qualities about them. You just want to put together a group that you're comfortable with, that you can trust, and that are all going to work together to go out and worry about that one common goal, which is winning.
What role did Doc have?
Doc?
Yeah, the last.
Anytime.
Surely you talked to him, right?
Anytime Doc called, I hit ignore. No, I'm just kidding. I talk to Doc a lot. Doc loves Lincoln. He said Lincoln will always have a special place in my heart, and he told me the great places to eat. But listen, Doc's one of my closest friends in this business, and when we started talking about if this is something we wanted to do, I talked to Doc a lot about that, and again, he had nothing but positive things to say, and again, how supportive the people are.
When you watch that film, is there anything that you pinpoint between reasons as far as why you had success early when you start out in college, and what you can take with that starting out here as well?
Yeah, we'll take a lot of things. In fact, I just went back and watched the playbook that we put together. It was almost an hour long of the plays that we ran at Iowa State, and we also have a playbook that we ran the last 3.5 years with the Bulls. So, again, as we get to know these players and understand what we have with the roster, we'll try to put the right system in play.
Coach, when you come up with like a plan, the way to approach the game, how much do you think about the fans and entertainment?
Well, that's part of it, but it can't be the only thing that you're thinking about, or you're probably not going to be very good if you just worry about that aspect. You have to try to put a plan and a system together that fits the talents of your players. And again, all players have strengths and weaknesses. You try to put the best product out there that plays to the strengths, and try to limit the weaknesses out there. But again, we're going to try to play fast. We're going to try to play an exciting style, and we're going to work hard at it. Thanks, guys.